Hi, everyone, and welcome to Hot Off the Press, the GelatoConnect product release webinar for Q2. Whether you're one of our customers already transforming your operations with GelatoConnect or exploring how our platform could help scale your business, we're really excited to have you with us today. Just a quick introduction to the team before we dive in. I'm Ellie, I'm Director of Product Marketing here at GelatoConnect, and I'm joined by our SVP of Product, Pradeep.
Thank you, Ellie. Welcome, everyone. My name is Pradeep. I am a product leader at GelatoConnect. My role is to ensure that the software that we're building enables PSPs to run faster, smarter, and more connected operation within their facility. So welcome to our Q2 release webinar. First, I want to say that as a customer of GelatoConnect, you're working with a software that is constantly improving. In Q2 alone, we've released more than 100 different updates. These are updates that are going live every single day, thanks to our team of more than 100 engineers. We will not focus on all the 100 plus updates today, but we're just going to share a few highlights which may be of interest or relevance to you. Before we get started, we wanted to share also things that are happening outside of GelatoConnect and outside of the industry, which I think we need to relate to. That is around AI. So you will see much more in terms of AI in this webinar compared to what it was before. And just 2 data points before we get started. Firstly, AI now beats 99% of humans at coding and math. And this is well established now. I think if we would have said that just a few months or last year, then there would have been a question. Now this is not a question. The second thing that's really interesting is that the cost for running AI workloads is now 99% lower than what it was just 18 months ago. We haven't seen a shift like this in the past, and this is something that we're relating to more and more. So today in the webinar, you will see a number of improvements thanks to this development that is happening in the AI landscape. So you can see here, for example, in the mobile app in GelatoConnect now, our AI agent will be sharing insights, so you can have control over your business on the go without having to look at so many different dashboards. But at the same time, we will share tangible examples and real demos of AI agents that are starting to automate different parts of your work for you in this presentation.
Thank you, Pradeep. So we've structured these updates around the core benefits that GelatoConnect delivers, which are growth, efficiency, and control. And we'll start with growth. So many of our product updates this quarter are all about helping you to say yes to more orders. And we know that seamless order intake is really at the heart of that. So Pradeep, can you walk us through what we've released this quarter to scale order intake?
No, absolutely. I mean, this is a shift that is happening where your code-based work, which is typically coming via email or your website form, is moving more and more into web-to-print storefront. So this is something that our customers have been asking us to support in a completely different way compared to what it was before, because investing IT effort to integrate each one doesn't scale, and that is that is a challenge that most PSPs are sitting with. So this is one area that we've refined and improved. For example, our Infigo and our Presero integration are now fully ramped up, in the sense that you would be able to integrate, get postbacks and updates from the orders. So every aspect of those integrations in terms of handling products and orders is now integrated, and it's live for you. But at the same time, we've taken this beyond storefronts. It's also about integrating customers who are potentially sending orders by FTP or CSV. The biggest channel, of course, within this is APIs, and we've now made it templated such that it doesn't matter which format your customer is sending orders in, or perhaps you're using a different system today to receive orders. Migrating that over to GelatoConnect will be really easy, because we've created those templates to translate those XMLs or orders into orders that GelatoConnect can digest. So let me show you in the live interface. So this will be a theme today. If you're a GelatoConnect customer, whatever I'm showing you today, you can basically log into your account and do. So there is no difference, because this is a release webinar for what we've actually put out during Q2. So you can see here, this is our new connectors interface. This is something that we've introduced. There are different ways in which you can connect your customers or your orders. I mentioned API. So this is the way to integrate API. You can create endpoints, you can create templates, a number of these pieces just within this interface. So if you add a new customer, this is your sort of dashboard to bring those orders in. We spoke a little bit about storefronts, why that shift is happening in the industry where much of your code-based work is moving to storefronts. So if you would like to create those storefronts on either a B2B or a B2C storefront, we have our GelatoConnect storefronts interface where you can do that. So in this interface, for example, we have these specific storefronts enabled. So let's say there is a B2C seller on Shopify wanting to connect with your print facility. This is not something that you would do today because it may be too much effort for you to take on board that customer, but not anymore. Now you as PSP can just go in here and invite your Shopify seller who wants to start producing orders with you. And it's as simple as just specifying your store name, and in the next step, integrating your products or syncing your products, and they will be able to start sending orders to you into the automated production workflow of GelatoConnect. So these are some of the enhancements to really help you drive growth, both on the B2B side, as I mentioned earlier, Presero and Infigo and any storefront really, in terms of translating their orders into automated production at GelatoConnect, but also B2C growth opportunities that you will now be able to tap into.
Thanks, Pradeep. So the next benefit we're building towards is efficiency. Many of our latest releases automate manual tasks in your operations to help cut costs across labor, materials, and shipping, while enabling your team to do more. So Pradeep, on the topic of efficiency, can you share a bit more about what we've released this quarter to remove manual tasks from print operations?
Now, this is very close to heart, and the peak season is coming up for those of you who are working in the Q4 or the seasonal market. Here we've actually structured it into a number of AI tools and AI agents who are going to help you start solving these tasks. When we got these requests from you, the customers, to say, hey, help us to automate packaging checks, help us to automate, how we create different templates for onboarding suppliers or defining workflows. The natural path for us with an AI first mindset is to harness that power to make it efficient for you, which is exactly what we've done. So I will show you some examples today of how that will work. First, let's take a real example. Let's say you have a customer who's given you a specific packaging slip to include in your packages and ship it out to them. So this is quite common. And what you would do is that this would be a custom job for your packager or your admin to create that for each of those custom orders. So what we've done now is to deploy an AI agent who can create that really fast. So let's take this example. Let's say you want to create packaging slips for this customer. You just go into that customer dashboard. You enable that for them, which means the system will automatically know there is a custom packaging slip that needs to be printed out at the packaging station. You could just go in and prompt here and say, can you create a standard packing slip template? No logos or images. I want to create a simple one first. Let's see. And the idea here is to really get you up and running. In this case, if your customer has shared an example template with you, you could also just drop that in here, attach it in here, and the AI agent will create that specific template for you. So in this case, you can see that it's created a template for you. You can either edit it in here. For example, can you attach this logo on top, right? And I would just put in a logo here. In this case, again, it's going to process that and it will create the updated template, right? So the idea is like as you would do with a different LLM like a ChatGPT, how can you perform more of your tasks in that way rather than having to create that from scratch? In this case, you can see that it's now put the logo on the top right, but this has a lot of customization. Down here, you can see all of the different variables or data points that you can include in this. You can also, for more flexibility, switch to an HTML view to edit that. So AI will get you up to the first version really quickly, and if you need to make any more updates, you can do that in here. Just an example of the kind of automation that is coming through, which is going to be more conversational. just as we are doing many of our jobs now, thanks to AI in a much more conversational way.
Great. Thank you, Pradeep. And moving on to our next release for efficiency. So we know that imposition can also be challenging for PSPs. It can be a huge driver of waste when it isn't optimized, and standalone imposition software can be really expensive as well. So how is GelatoConnect improving that process?
Thank you. This one here, this is not a new tool. And Gelato has more than 15 years of experience in print and print automation. And this is our engine that we've used over the years, and we've made it more flexible and added more power to this during Q2. So you will be able to create your imposition from templates in minutes, basically. So let me share with you how that really works. Again, on the live GelatoConnect interface. So you can see here that there is a section called imposition templates. So the idea here is that today you may be using a standalone imposition tool. You would need to send data to it. Your IT team needs to integrate with a different tool, get it imposed, send it back, put it into the machine. And this is the value that GelatoConnect drives. This is a horizontal software which takes an order all the way from receipt up until the order is shipped, including steps such as imposition. In the case of imposition, we believe that there should be no reason for anyone to create an imposition from scratch, because we know what the different products are. And how we've defined that is that we've defined a number of templates within GelatoConnect, and you would be able to use a template in here. So let's take a simple business card template here and start from there. So in this case, I would just copy to my templates or preview the template. In this case, you can see that immediately it's fully loaded, meaning this is a tried and tested business card imposition template that Gelato offers, and something that is already working in the field with a number of PSPs. You would just copy to your templates to start with. Once you've done that, you can see that your new template that you created is in here. And at this point, you can make many different ways. That there are many different ways for you to customize this template from here. And let's take example here. At this point in time, for example, this is how the imposition template looks. So there are some top sheets, and then there's the impose files. In between, you can add any step that you want. So let's look at what are the different things that you can add. You can add different types of imposition. So in this case, it's a cut and stack imposition, but you could choose a different one. You could insert a number of different parts here. It could be an empty page, it could be a batch sheet. You could add trim marks, registration marks. You can import different things. So in this case, for example, if you add trim marks here, you will see that the marks have now been added. The other way to add stuff is also that we have a notion of templates also within these steps, right? So there are Gelato templates available for a number of pieces that you would need to add to your imposition. For example, you could add a batch sheet. In this case, if I import this template to create a batch sheet, and at this point, you can just go in here and edit the batch sheet details the way you want it as well. So the idea here is to really start with templates. In most cases, you would just be able to apply an imposition for most of the products that you have based on the Gelato templates that are available to you, and then use that into your workflow to optimize your production. Back to you, Ali.
Great. Thank you, Pradeep. And we actually just wanted to share a quote from one of our GelatoConnect customers, Joe Wright, who is Director of Operations at Express in Kansas, who I spoke to last week. And he said that the GelatoConnect imposition tool has created massive efficiencies for their business and reduced their paper waste by 25%. And he also highlighted how easy it is to use. He said you don't need a trained operator or expensive imposition software costing thousands a month. So we really love hearing stories like these about how GelatoConnect is making a real impact for our partners across the world. And Pradeep, earlier you mentioned the new workflow agent. We know that every print operation is different and workflows can be incredibly complex. How have we made workflow creation easier this quarter in GelatoConnect?
Yeah, I mean, this is the segue to show the new workflow builder in GelatoConnect. We showed you a version at the end of Q1, and we can wait for you to try if you haven't tried the updated version of the workflow builder. I will just show it to you now. So this is an example of just flat cards. Let's say, what we just imposed out there for business cards to produce that. You can see that you can take a specific type of product and send it through different conditions. The conditions could be, is it based on different attributes, different customers, anything that you would like it to be. So the idea here again is that we have a set of templates for workflows for different types of products, for books, for flat products, and so on. And you can take that and adapt it and configure it based on your machines and equipment. That's the idea here. And on the left here, you can see a number of operations that you can do. You can make operations on the PDF or the incoming file, or you can create different paths based on conditions, and you can take different actions as you move down. For example, you're going to batch that, and you can define a batching logic, which is based on a number of quantity or a specific time when you want to release that to print. So there are a number of operations here. So the example that you shared, Ellie, again, that comes from a combination of smart imposition, but also ganging the orders which have the same substrate in a smart way, so you don't have to do that manually. All of this is configured within the Gelato workflow builder. So let's take an example here, and let's say I want to add a step, and I'm just trying to show how again AI can be a big unlocker here. So in this case, I batch the file, and after batching, I want to impose it. In this case, I'm just going to select the imposition template that we may have just created. So once you've created, the way the system works is that there is an order with this particular product that you want to configure it for, and you want to make sure that you can test the activity and that everything is set up. So one of the things you would need to do is to say, how do you want this to be configured? Again, there's different ways to do that, and it is an in-depth operation where a number of attributes are needed. So here again, we have deployed AI, and what it does is it's going to check the different attributes that are needed. It's going to look at the type of product that you're trying to configure, and it's going to fill out all of those for you. And now that this is all configured and pulled from your imposition template and matched to your workflow, you're just able to save the parameters and test the activity. And if it's all good, you're ready to start producing these orders. So another example of a lot of manual work that has in the past gone into typing many different fields out, which now thanks to AI can be automated within seconds.
Thanks, Pradeep. And finally, we have a launch that is designed to give you more control. So we know that inventory tracking is notoriously difficult for complex products. And Pradeep, can you share how GelatoConnect is now solving that challenge?
Yeah, I mean, this is GelatoConnect procurement. As if you're a user of GelatoConnect, you know how it gives you granular control, but also a simple tool to use for printers and purpose designed for printers. So one of the parts that the system was really good at is to automatically reduce quantity and automate replenishment based on signals, based on minimum and maximum stock and an algorithm. This worked really well, and one of the feedback points from our customers was that how do I deduct quantity also for complex items where it's a combination of different materials that go into it. So this is where we've deployed in Q2 what we call a consumption mapper or the deduction of inventory for complex products. So that's what I'm gonna show you now. So within Gelato Connect, under on the left here, you can see Gelato Connect procurement. We now have a section called consumption rules. So let's take frames as an example. So what is a frame? As part of a frame poster, what is a frame? A frame is going to have wood. If you receive an order for a frame, there is wood, there is an acrylic glass, and you would need packaging material to ship that out. So it's not a one-to-one mapping, as opposed to, for example, a mug. Same thing with paper, right? Like there is a certain calculation for how much in terms of paper that you're going to use. So these can all be customized based on the incoming orders. So let's take frames. In this case, as you can see, there are 3 different items that are included here. If you want to add more material, you can as well. And then you are able to now specify, if I get an order for a 50 by 70 centimeter frame, this is what I would like to deduct. So even if you have a framing operation within your site, then you will be able to track all of this at a very granular level. So you make replenishment decisions at the right time and you don't end up in an overstock or out of stock situation. So in this case, you can see here that for a black frame, this would mean, you consume a certain length of black molding, you consume a certain quantity of acrylic glass and a packaging material. That's at least how this particular rule is set, but you could set it up in different ways. All of this is highly flexible. What are the materials and what are the units that need to be deducted for which type of order? This can be configured in a flexible way. And once that rule is in place, when orders with this particular product is received, in this case, the product model is called frame product, then the rules will kick in and help you keep track of your inventory in real time.
Great. And so they're all of our Q2 releases. Now we can talk just a little bit about what's next, and how GelatoConnect is really continuing to push the boundaries of what's possible in print. So over to you, Pradeep.
Yeah, I mean, I want to add one more thing. The future is super exciting. Q3, we have a lot of powerful things backed up. All that I've shown, this is, of course, just a 30-minute webinar, and we're unable to go into all of the details. But what we have also done is that we have put all of this into videos for you in our help center. So we do encourage all of you to try it out in your site, in your GelatoConnect account. And if you need any guidance, we have in-depth videos. So let's take this example here in terms of configuring your workflow and how, let's say you signed a new customer and you want to bring their order in and start processing and you want to reduce time to money. This is an example of a video series where it would take you all the way from how do I set up the customer and the API, how do I use templates to map all of that really quickly, how do I set up data exchange. Again, you can see the videos embedded in here. How do I create the products? How do I create my imposition and workflows? So the full stack of things that you need, especially if you signed up, and we have more than 50 customers in our onboarding pipeline right now. And if you're one of those customers, we highly encourage you to just skim through some of these this education material, which will hopefully help you to get even more value from the tools. And then now, Evie, back to your question in terms of Q3, there's a lot lined up, and I think we'll be speaking about that in a webinar that will come up shortly. One thing that we didn't include in Q2 webinar is also some of the innovations that we are doing. One thing specifically we wanted to call out is our AI estimator. So this, of course, is towards a direction of an MIS solution that our customers have asked us to support them with, so they can manage all of their on-demand print work and their commercial work all in the same system, have full visibility, schedule across all of these orders. This is in closed beta, so it is intentional that I'm not going to show you a demo. But if this is interesting for you, if you would love to quote within 5 minutes, get that quote out to customers to win more orders. If you would like to reduce sales admin costs by 50% or more, and also get smarter with pricing to win more jobs. If these are points that are highly relevant for you, do reach out to us. This is a closed beta only for an exclusive to GelatoConnect customers. This is something that is being used by some of our beta customers right now. So this is another piece of work that we did in Q2, but we will share more on this later on when we launch this commercially.
Thanks, Pradeep. So what we've shared today is just a high-level look at some of the key innovations we've delivered this quarter. As Pradeep mentioned, everything we shared today is live on the platform. If you're already a GelatoConnect customer, you can visit the Help Center to get started. And if you're still exploring GelatoConnect as a solution for your business, we hope you feel energized by what you've seen today. You can reach out to our team via our website, gelato.com/connect, to book a meeting and find out more. And we're not stopping here. So in Q3, you can expect even more automation, more powerful tools to drive control, efficiency, and growth across your operations. And if you want a first look, we're hosting a Q3 roadmap webinar. So you can join that for an exclusive walkthrough of what's coming next. And the sign-up link will be shared shortly for that, so don't miss it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Pradeep, and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.